So this is a multi-dimensional scenario where I've got country and product I want to plan against. So in country, I have an area. So we've got the area broken down by country underneath it. And then underneath that, we have the product lines, and then we have individual products. So we want to introduce a new product line. So there's a couple things we want to do here. So we want to focus planning on a subset of the data that's here. So we don't want to do planning against all the areas and all the countries. And to make it easy for this, we're just going to focus on North America. But I also want to remove, in this case, Jamaica from the forecast. So we're not going to forecast for Jamaica. But I also want to add a new product line that we're going to do for marshmallows and foam treats in the United States, right? So I want to add that new line just in the United States first. So we're gonna test market it here in the United States, and then we'll slowly roll it out to other countries as we do it. So the challenge is I've got new products that I want to add to the United States, but I also want to remove countries that we don't want to forecast against, and Jamaica as well as everything in APAC, EMEA, and South America. Now, some of this we could do through filters. So we're removing those existing ones. I could easily go in and construct a filter, that defines all the areas that I don't want to do against. But again, we're looking to try to make this a little bit more dynamic as opposed to hard coding filters. And I don't have a way, kind of like with the new segment, I don't have a way that I can easily add new product lines to the United States or anything in general. So let me come back over here, and I'm going to go to the product table. So just like segment and calendar, I have my product table modeled in the SQL database. So I have it being loaded from simulating it being loaded from ERP system into the Fabric SQL database. And you notice I've got a product code product key, but I've got a surrogate product key because I'm gonna add some new products that don't exist yet. So I'm gonna go all the way to the end here. And here's what I've done is I've already created these products because I pre-configured this for the demo. So I've already created these products, and you can tell they're new products because they don't have the SKU code from the ERP system, right? And so what you would do is once these belong in the ERP system, once they get a SKU code assigned to it, then someone can come in and fill it in here, and it can be used, for further, ETL processes. But I've got, so you can give your end users the ability to, to add rows and maintain rows here. And so I have my new products inside of here, but but you notice that the products are already there and they're not showing up here because there's no historical data associated with that. And so we have this bridge table over here. So what we've done, this is the validity table we kind of talked about in the presentation. So the table can be as simple or as complicated as you want it to be, but in this case, it's just defined with countries, products, and whether it's valid. Now you could drop all combinations of country and product in here and control them individually by the is valid, or you could just put the ones in here that you want to forecast against. And I'll show you. Let me change the layout. And so what I've done here is I've just added the ones that we want to forecast against. So I've got, basically all of North America except for Jamaica. So I've got Canada, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Mexico, Panama, Puerto Rico, and the United States. And then inside of the United States, I have added those additional products, the additional marshmallow and foam products and things like that. So I already have it in here and have it wired up. So now if I come back over here, I can start adding, let me collapse some of these down. So like we did before, we're gonna add these in slowly so you can kind of see what the effect is. So if we add the valid country product row count measure into here, you can see that it returns blanks for all of my invalid countries and products. So APAC, EMEA, South America, Jamaica, for example, shows invalid. And if I add my gross revenue in here, same type of thing. I'm getting I'm getting zeros or the actual historical row count, or excuse me, gross revenue, based on those valid dimensions. And so I can actually remove these out of here. And like we did before, so now I've got just North America, I've got Jamaica's not here, and I've got marshmallows and foam now, right, which is my new product line. And if I come in here and add my date is open, so now I can do like I did previously. I can come in here and I can say I want to create an input, call it forecast, and just go ahead and, like we did before, base it on the formula. I can hide data is open, and I can rename this first revenue. So there I have, so I've got a multi-dimensional planning grid now, planning matrix setup, where I'm showing a subset of the historical combinations along with some new combinations here. And I've got 12 months of periods that I can forecast against, and it's all dynamic. If we look at the filters, the only filters is at the global level for the date is valid as forecast. So as I roll into new dates, it'll automatically update, and I can show you what that looks like here if I come back to my calendar table. So if I come back here, I'm going to enable the first 3 months of 2027. So now if I come over here and so I need to refresh the semantic model. So here's what's going on when you refresh the semantic model. There's a couple things that are happening. One, it's going out and it's looking for any semantic model changes itself since I'm in edit mode. So it's looking for semantic model changes to make sure nothing's changed in the model itself. And then after it does that, it's also looking for, it's going to rerun the queries against the latest data. You'll notice now the refresh is finished. Let me collapse everything down so we can get a little bit more space. But now I can forecast out into 2027.